Hey guys, welcome back. All right, midpoint and distance. This stuff's really important. So on the test, we want to make sure we got these formulas near us, the midpoint and the distance. And this was partitioning. Okay, so let's take a look. It says find the midpoint EF. So you could try to find the midpoint and kind of guess the coordinate there. So if I could just go by guessing, it looks like I went -1, +1, 2.5. Okay, so just by guessing, I get -1, 2.5. Now let's use this formula. Okay, so E is at -3, +2, and F is at +1, +3. So using this formula, right, take the two x values, add them together, right? So this is one x value and this is another x value. Add them together and then divide by 2. And then do the same with the y. Add the two y's together and divide by 2. So that's what we're going to do. So add the two x's. So -3 + 1 divide by 2. And then we'll do it with the y's. 2 + 3 divide by 2. So we get -2/2 and 5/2. Aha, that is our answer. So I feel confident that's my answer. -2/2 is -1, and 5/2 is the same as 2.5. Now, let's do 22. It says FG. Oh, it says find the midpoint and the length. Interesting. Okay. Well, I'm definitely going to have to work on another piece of paper. I'm going to run out of room. Let's find the midpoint first of FG. So if I look here, this one's easy. It's definitely right on there. So FG, I'm pretty sure, without using my formula, it is 3, 2. Okay, 3, 2. GH, what's my midpoint? That one I can tell is right there. It lands right on the grid line. So that's 3, 0. 3, 0. EH, what's my midpoint? That's a little bit harder. Okay, so that one I definitely need my formula. So let's do E and H. We already have the point E is -3, -3, 2. Let's do H is 1, -1. Okay, so we add the two y's, so -3 + 1, and divide by 2. And then we add the two x's, then we add the two y's. So I get -2/2, and then I get 1/2. So it looks like the coordinate would be -1 and then 0.5. So let's see where that ends. -1.5. Okay, so let's see if that measures up, lines up. Yeah, that's good. So I like that. Now that we reviewed midpoint, let's look at length. Okay. So if I look at length, then I should use my distance formula, or you can use Pythagorean theorem. So it looks like this is 2 and that's 4. So a squared plus b squared is c squared. If a is 2 and b is 4, you should be able to solve for c squared. So I get c squared is 20, but that's not 20. It should be the square root of both sides. So let me get my calculator. The square root of 20 is 4.5. And that looks about right. So the length of FG is 4.5. Now let's look at EF. Okay, so I'm going to look at EF. This is 4 and that's 1. So that'd be 1 squared plus 4 squared equals the hypotenuse, c squared. So I get 17. So if I take the square root of both sides, I get, what is the square root of 17? I get 4.1. Okay, that looks about right. A little longer than 4, so that's 4.1. All right, now let's look at GH. That looks the same here. That's a 2 and a 4, so that's going to give me the same answer as FG. I'm still going to get 2 squared plus 4 squared, because this is a 2 and that's a 4. So I should get the same answer, 4.5. 4.5. Now let's look at EH. This one looks quite a bit longer, so let's see why. Yeah, that is longer because you have a 3 and a 4. So if we figure that out, we have 3 squared plus 4 squared is c squared. So we have 9 plus 16 is c squared. So that's going to equal 25. Ooh, that one's a nice one because when we take the square root of both sides, we get 5. Okay, so that one's different. That one's kind of cool. All right, so we found the length. And again, we can use Pythagorean theorem, or you were free to use this distance formula, and you would have gotten exactly the same answer. Okay? And I could show you that, I guess with FG would be a good way to show you. So F, again, F was coordinate 1, 3, and G was coordinate 5, 1. Okay. So if I subtract the two x coordinates, I get 5 minus 1 squared, which is 4 squared. And then if I subtract the two y coordinates, that's the 3 and the 1, 3 minus 1 is 2 squared. And then I need to take the square root of the whole thing. So the square root of 16 plus 4 is the square root of 20. And looky there, I got the same answer. So the length of FG is the square root of 20. And so we said the length of FG is 4.5 because that's the square root of 20. So you can use good old-fashioned Pythagorean theorem, or you can use this distance formula, and they're both really using the same thing. Now let's take a look at 25. It says, what are the coordinates of a point 2/5 of the way from H to E? Ooh, that'll be fun. 2/5 of the way there. Well, it's exactly 5 long. So let me kind of erase some things here, just because I want some more room. 2/5 of the way there. Cool. So from H to E. So I want to start at H and go to E. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's pretty close to this. So my guess would be about -1, 0. That's my guess. Okay, so I'm going to guess -1, 0 is my guess. Okay, now I'm going to use these formulas right here to actually calculate it. Okay, so it says I want to go 2/5 of the way there. So I'm using the same formula here, but I want the horizontal is 2/5 of the way there. And then I have to find out how far are my two x values. So H is at 1 in the x, and E is at -3 in the x. So 1 minus a -3. So they're 4 away in the x. And we knew that from our picture, right? They're 4 away in the x. All right, so what's 2/5 of 4? And now in my vertical distance, I want to do 2/5 of the way in the y. And I know my y distance is 3. So E here is coordinate 2, and H is the y coordinate of -1. So 2 minus a -1 is 3. So that's why I want 2/5 of 3. Okay, so let's turn that into a decimal. So I have 2/5 times 4. So I get 1.6, and then I get 2/5 times 3. So I get 1.2, okay? Now, I got to be careful because it says from H to E. So I really just take the original H coordinate and add that back in. So that's where I get this x1. So my original x coordinate, if H is 1, -1, I take the x part. So the x part was 1, and I added to the 1.6, so I get 2.6. And then, wait. Now that makes sense. All right, and then I take the y1 coordinate, which was -1, and I want to add this 1.2 to that. So I get -0.2. So I get the coordinate 2.6, -0.2. Yeah, this is not working. I did something wrong. Notice I'm going back, right? To go from H to E, I need to go back. So that's what I'm doing wrong, and that's why it's a little bit different. So I'm going to go from 1 here, but I got to go back 1.6. So that leaves me -0.6. And then here, I was at -1, but I need to go up. So that works. Okay, so I think I've got a coordinate here. 0.6, comma, -0.6, comma, to -0.2. Oh, my guess was so close. So that's my final answer. -0.6, comma, -0.2. Believe it or not, that is really close to that coordinate. So I probably would have taken either coordinate on the test. That's close. Okay. Last question. Let's do it. It says, Sadie models her neighborhood coordinate plane. Her school is at 8:12 and the store is at 14:3. What are the coordinates halfway? Okay, so let's just use our midpoint. Halfway is midpoint. So we're going to add the 2 x's and divide by 2, and add the 2 y's and divide by 2. So we get 22 divided by 2 and 15 divided by 2. So I get a final coordinate 11, and that would be 7.5. So that's my coordinate there. Nice job, guys. Check out the next video.